Hey guys, I'm Morthadon, and we are back for Mahou Shoujo Madoka Magica Season 1, Episode 6. So, last time we learned a lot. We learned that familiars can turn into witches eventually if you leave them to go kill a few people, which is pretty dark that people like Kyoko, that was her name, right? Right? Yeah, okay. Goes and does that and is okay with that. So, also, I was informed that it was a translation mistake saying one of the rewards for defeating a witch is the seed, which to me implied that there was more than one, but I was told in the comments, thank you for letting me know, that apparently that is the only reward. So I don't understand. I don't know why it's so important, but maybe we'll learn more as to why it's as important as it is, right? Like, obviously, I understand it replenishes their magic, but, you know. I mean, I guess it's like a paycheck, right? Like, maybe you have to spend your magic, or maybe your magic like passively drains or whatever, so you need to like keep bringing in that paycheck kind of thing. The exception is you get to choose when you expend it, right? So if you only were to expend it to fight witches, I mean, but maybe they use their powers for other things too. I mean, who knows with Kyoko? She came in to fight another magical girl. Anyway, there's a lot of ways that you can theorize what goes on there and what their motivations are, and maybe we'll learn more as we watch more. So, but we also learned that whatever your wish was can kind of influence what your powers are in a way. So because wow. Damn, what's her name? Holy crap. I've been doing so good with her name and now I can't remember it. Sayaka. Um, because Sayaka wished for healing, she got the power to heal a little quicker herself. So, very neat. I theorize that Madoka has always wanted to be strong, so if she wishes for strength, does that, I mean, is it her wish that gets fulfilled that makes her stronger, or is it because she wished for strength that makes her stronger? Or does it double dip? That'd be insane. Anyways, I'm excited, guys, and we also have Madoka in a situation where Sayaka is fighting Kyoko, and she once again is being Kyubey is like, hey, now's the time, you could do it. Do you want to do it? Do you want to do it? So Kyubey is really pushing for it. So we'll have to see how that turns out. We're gonna start here, guys, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. All right. Is this a little bit of? Oh, that's right. Yeah, she came in. I forgot again. Damn it, I forgot in the discussion of last episode, and then I forgot again. I was like, oh, Madoka's gonna have to make another choice, and then it got interrupted again. This show is just gonna be a series of Madoka almost making the choice and someone getting in the way. That's right. She's an irregularity, too. We need to learn more about that. Damn. I'll handle this alone. Hmm. Oh, knows her full name. Oh, you're gonna run? Oh, that's so sad. You need to know what your enemies can do before you can fight them. Not just gonna jump into the fray. You're a little bit of a wimp there, Kyoko. Hmm. What? Could you be what? What do you not know, Cube? Alright. You know, I wrote it down just now, but I guess I can talk about it now during the opening. Akemi's shield is so small. I don't even know if it's a shield, but it looks kind of like a shield. And you know what it really reminds me of? If you guys have ever played, like, it happens in several MMOs, but particularly, like, World of Warcraft. If you guys have ever played World of Warcraft, and you're starting a new character that wields a shield, the shields when you're very low level are just these tiny. You're like this big orc, oh, big, strong, and you have like a shield that's like that big. It reminds me of Akemi's like thing on her arm. That's all I can picture is like my low level World of Warcraft characters looking so goofy. But I'm looking forward to see her fight someday, maybe. Also, I made a joke. But what if the opening is a spoiler? I mean, not a spoiler. What if it's a red herring, right? Like, we see her in her, like, magical girl outfit, so that leads me to assume that she's gonna eventually become a magical girl. But what if Akemi, like, or something stops her every single time and we go through the whole show and she never becomes a magical girl? Wouldn't that be crazy? Oh! Oh. Interesting. What? Interesting. Hmm. In order to keep it pure. Ah. Okay. Right. This is exactly what I was saying I wanted. It's kind of like having a bunch of mana potions stored up in a video game, huh? Hmm. Like Madoka? Yeah. I hope we don't spark a little jealousy between them. That's a big ask, though. Still pushing that. Playing some. Oh! Just gonna confront her. Is that the opening? Hmm. Interesting. What? What was that word? I wonder if that is the thing that we saw in the first episode. I don't even know how to begin to pronounce that word. That candy looks good. I'm guessing it's a form of, like, candy kind of thing. They're trying to find it. I see. Maybe we can be friends. Hmm. Damn. It's true. I mean, that's all nice and good, Madoka, but she's letting familiars go kill people, you know? Like, Sayaka has a point. Hmm. I theorize that could have been a possibility. I don't know if it's true or not, but I mean, unfortunately, Sayaka's spitting truce right now. I understand what Madoka is trying to do, but it's not realistic. Hmm. Oh, what is this? Another dream? Oh, maybe not. Just sleep. Did we just skip to when she went home and went to sleep? Oh, talk to our mom a bit? Yeah. Interesting. Wow. Yeah. Whoa. Hmm. Interesting. Could be very dangerous what you try to do as a mistake in this situation. Wow. You live your whole life doing everything perfect. Yeah. Wow. Kind of makes a lot of sense. But very dangerous when you're talking about witches and familiars and shit. Hmm. That mom's got her shit figured out. Uh oh. He's not here. Oh. Well, damn. Hope you have contact information in some way or something. Have we seen them ever pull out a cell phone? Do we know what year? They have pretty fancy technology, though, don't they? They have like touchscreens to turn up like the heat and stuff like that, and the elevators were like kind of crazy too. So, oh shit, came out of nowhere. Damn, for Kyoko. Why is that? Why is that? Hmm. Jesus. Kind of fucked up, Kyoko. I mean, we've known that, but hmm. She's got those anime girl fangs. Oh. Freaking Kyubey. I know she's probably trying to help Sayaka, but also Kyubey's like... Kyubey could have went and found a Kemi, right? But instead she finds Madoka, who has no powers, hoping to get Madoka to sign a contract. I don't trust you, Kyubey. You sly little shit. Alright. Just appeared out of nowhere. Damn, where do you keep coming from? Oh shit! What is that? What happens? Wait. What? What? Throw away your friend. What the fuck? What? What? Dude, Kyoko doesn't even know what happens. Oh, she's just fast. That's what happened. Oh, Jesus Christ. I went through theories, guys, in that brief second. This is one hell of a mistake. Oh, shit. Yeah, Kyoko doesn't even know. Akemi knows, though. Yo. Your souls are, like, I mean, it's called a soul gem. What the fuck? Explain this sooner! Make this part of the signing bonus. Damn. What can we do with that, though? What the fuck, man? Holy shit. I... the name is fitting, I suppose. I just never even thought about it. Wow. Interesting. Jesus. Oh. She gave it back. Oh my god. The fuck just happened is what she's thinking. Do you have consciousness when you're in the gem? Apparently not. Holy shit! What an episode, guys! What the fuck? Okay. So, we learned a lot this episode. Again. Alright. So your grief seed is, I mean, your soul gem is your actual soul once you take that contract. If it moves 100 meters away from your body just turns off and you're just a gem. So can you do anything as a gem? It doesn't seem like it. That seems like a big downside. Like, that means the best way to fight a magical girl is to get her 100 meters from her gem and she just powers down, you know? Like, sure, I guess it makes your body invincible. She was saying your heart can be torn to shreds, but then it can just be healed because your soul is within the gem as long as the gem doesn't get hurt. But the gem builds up corruption, right? And it needs to be cleansed using a grief seed. So that adds to the importance of grief seeds. Okay. Interesting. Wow. Alright, I did not expect that. Holy shit. That is it, guys, for episode 6. But yeah, okay. So, Jesus Christ. When that seed was thrown over the edge, and we saw Sayaka start, like, passing out, right? And then we see Akemi just vanish. One, Akemi's insanely fast. Like, we haven't seen a lot of these magical girls when they're fighting, we haven't seen any of them move that fast, right? So, and maybe I'm mistaken, maybe it's anime stuff, like the fact that it was almost like she was, like, teleporting. But I'm guessing that's just speed. But, like, we saw last episode when the fight was happening, Kyoko, like, came, flying in from the sky for some of the attacks or whatever. Like, she didn't, like, I feel like Kyoko could have easily just, boom, like, if Kyoko could move that fast, she should have been able to kill Sayaka without Sayaka even knowing she, like, was there, right? Sayaka probably wouldn't even have been able to react in time. I mean, unless Sayaka was that fast too, I suppose, but it would have caught her off guard and things like that. But the fact that Akemi moved that fast, but my first instinct when I saw Akemi disappear like that, I was like, I don't know, like a million theories went through my mind in like a fraction of a second. I was like, is she some kind of like hologram that's like tied to like soul gems? But why, like, how does that work? Because I thought she just like blinked out of existence or something for a moment after that was thrown. But I was like, why would she be tied to Sayaka's soul gem? Why, like, then I started like punching holes in my own theory. Keep in mind, these thoughts happened in like a fraction of a second, but yeah, that was crazy. And then we saw her running on the road like that, and I was like, oh, okay, she just took off because Akemi must be familiar, whereas Kyoko was not, which is really interesting. Kyoko had no idea that this is how being a magical girl worked, but Akemi knew instantly, just took off as soon as Madoka threw that, because she knew what was about to happen. Wow. Okay, I kind of want to go back to that scene. How long do you have? Like, is it forever? Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. Would have been after she threw it. That was bad, Madoka. How could you just throw your friend like that? Throw away your friend like that? Just an empty shell, man. All right. Give us that. Give us that exposition. I wonder if it really is. There's even like a sound effect. But granted, we've had shows where people are fast, so they have sound effects to their running fast kind of thing. But yeah, so sorry, I didn't cut to a very good point. Okay. You magical girls can only control your bodies from 100 meters away at most. 100 meters. What the hell does that mean? You normally carry them with you, so accidents like this are rare. Wow. Yeah, so basically, they never said like a time limit of it being away. She said that's just an empty shell. So what happens if her soul was away from her body? Like if that gem was away from her body for let's say a week, like a few days, would she start decomposing? Or does the body still stay intact, right? I don't know. I mean, she did, like, Kyoko did say she's dead, but, like, Kyubei acts like this is such a good thing, right? But I feel like if they just separate you from your body, you're just screwed, right? If they separate your gem from the body, I mean, that really changes the way you could fight. It's really about fighting to protect your gem rather than fighting to protect your body. Fascinating. Yeah, I mean, either way, you just really don't want to lose that soul gem at all. Now, when they manifest their soul gem, it like appears from the ring, right? That they keep on their finger. So could you take the ring? Or if you lose that ring, are you screwed? Or is it manifesting from your body, right? Is it held like within you when you're not a magical girl at the time? I don't know. I guess we could try to look when Sayaka summoned. Yeah, it looked like hers came out of her ring, right? She like holds her hand out. She has the ring. She also has the fingernail painting on the same finger as all the others, which is really interesting. And then, yeah. So I think they talked about how the ring is significant in all that. I actually think it turns into it, right? I mean, there the ring was off her finger, I think. So I think the ring actually turns into the gem. Now she also looked at the thing on her chest after when they started talking about that. So is what's in her chest embedded? Is that where her soul gem goes, or does she just have it there and available? I guess Sayaka never finished her transformation, right? Maybe Sayaka's becomes part of her outfit or body too. When she transforms, really, really interesting. Um, but yeah, okay. So I do like in the beginning Kyoko, just like we had Akemi show up and Kyoko's like, well, I don't know what you can do, so I'm gonna leave. It's like I hate people like that where they're like, oh, I know I'm stronger than Sayaka, so I will pick this fight. But as soon as you're like not sure if you can win, you run away like a little bitch, you know? Like, oh, I get it. It's smart in a real life situation. I'd probably do the same, right? But in like TV show standards, we're used to the protagonist going up against people despite being stronger or weaker than them, you know, and they just sometimes get their ass kicked, and we see that. But at least they tried. They didn't just run away. So, um, but but yeah. So we know that grief seeds get tainted by using your magic, I think, is how they get tainted. I don't know if they can get tainted over time or not, but in order to cleanse that taint, you need grief seeds. Also, part of the reason why a lot of these magical girls want to farm witches is because the more grief seeds they can stockpile, they're essentially like mana potions, it sounds like. Like she was saying, that's part of what, I mean, Kyoko's already talented, but then also she has a store of grief seeds So she can just let loose and use her magic willy-nilly to fight other magical girls, and it doesn't matter because she can always just recover her magic using some of her stockpiled grief seeds, right? So that's interesting. It's another use for them. Now, it still doesn't quite, unless you passively build up taint on your soul gem, it still doesn't fully answer my question of, like, let's say I just wanted to stop being a magical girl, right? I fight my final witch, I use the thing, I fill up my soul gem, and then I just never use magic again. Could I do that, right? Because a lot of these people act like this is a choice you have to make and you're stuck with it forever, right? Like, you're always a magical girl and you're always going to have to be fighting witches. But is that the case? Like, if you never use the magic, then you never build up that taint. But I guess it is possible that there's some kind of, like, every just slowly over time, a little bit of taint builds up on it. And so if you go, like, a month of, even if you don't use magic for a month, there's still, like, too much taint build up on it, and you gotta get rid of it. Now, if too much taint builds up on your soul gem, could that turn into a grief seed? Now, is that to imply that witches could potentially be, like, fallen magical girls? I don't know. And if that's the case, is that all? Is Kyubey just perpetuating a cycle of witches because Kyubey keeps making magical girls that then need to go fight those witches, that then some of those magical girls turn into witches, that then they need more magical girls to go fight those witches? Is Kyubey just creating this cycle? Also, it seems like Kyubey doesn't perfectly understand humans and doesn't understand why humans get so frustrated by what this means with the how the soul gem works and everything. Yeah, kind of crazy. I mean, I guess it is called a soul gem, and I know I said that a couple times, but even the characters in the show didn't realize what that really meant and entailed and everything. So, wild. We also had them talk about, God, the name of it is gonna. Where was it? It was during, like, the DDO scene, right? They mentioned it, which would have been, yeah, right here. There it is. Let me write this crazy name down. The Walpurgis Notch. Jesus. How do they say it? Oh my god, she says it so quick, it's so hard to understand. I heard like Walpurgis. Like, that I can get, but it's hard to say, like, Walpurgisnacht or something. I don't know. I don't know if that's how you're supposed to say it. But talking about a week from now, or no, 2 weeks from now, it will descend upon the city. Really makes me wonder if that's the thing from the very first episode. I feel like it must be. Because we do see in that dream from Madoka, Akemi fighting it. But yeah, there was even a moment when Kyubey was, like, having some kind of revelation about Akemi or something, where, like, Akemi, are you, or what are you, or something along those lines, where even Kyubey doesn't fully understand. I mean, we got that gist last episode when Kyubey was like, well, it's kind of complicated. She's, like, sort of from me, but not from me, and it's like, that was very vague as well. So, man, I'm really interested in Akemi's story and what's going on with her. But, is it possible that, I don't know. I'm just wondering, now that we know that Akemi seems to be familiar with the soul core being, like, Akemi knew to run after that soul core immediately, right? So I feel like she has some kind of experience with the soul core being separated from the body. Is it possible to take over another body? Is it possible that this Akemi isn't, like, this body isn't Akemi's original form? And maybe she, like, I don't know how that would work, though. I was gonna say, did she find, like, another empty shell and take over it? But like a hermit crab kind of thing. But it must not be very common. Even Cube said it's very rare for this to happen. Uh, so I don't know. I guess we're gonna have to wait and find out when we get her story. But yeah, I think whatever her story is gonna have to do with something with the soul gem and being separated, and somehow knowing that that's how this all works and stuff like that. So also, why does she want to defeat the Walpurgis so bad? Like, it doesn't seem like Kyoko cares about that. Like, I mean, what was Kyoko's reaction? She just said, "How do you know that? That's a secret. Once it's defeated, I'll leave the city. You can do what you want after that." Yeah, like, I don't know. Kyoko wasn't like, "Oh my god, the Walpurgis." Like, she was just mainly like, "Oh, how do you know it's gonna be here?" Like, she was very chill about it. So I don't know. If that is some kind of like big bad for the magical girls, I figured there'd be a bigger reaction for Kyoko. So it seems like it might just be a big bad uh for Akemi. And also, is this like a known thing? Like, does this Walpurgis descend upon like different areas? Is that what did it like kill someone that was close to Akemi and Akemi's trying to get revenge? I don't know. So many theories, but anyway, aside from all that, I love the conversation between Madoka and her mom. That was really cool. Obviously, it's one of those difficult situations where the parent gives good advice, but because the extreme situation that Madoka finds herself in is not the best advice, right? Like, telling Madoka to make some kind of mistake to try and help uh Sayaka realize something when you're dealing with witches and death and very dangerous situations. Obviously the mom doesn't know that, so she can't give appropriate advice. And that's even what the mom said, is like, someone from the outside of this argument can't really solve the problem because they don't have all the information. It's just, I really liked the advice because I like the idea of when you're young, make mistakes, because then it's easier to recover from them. And she used as like a physical trauma, as the body heals faster, but it's also the mind too. Not just physical stuff like making, like, having bad relationships or something early on, learning how to handle those. If you can bounce back so much easier when you're young, because it's just so much easier to move on. I feel like, obviously, unless it's something really traumatic, right? Like, I'm not saying like people who find themselves in really shitty situations are like, "Oh, you're a kid, you can just move on." That's not what I mean. But I just mean, like, you have a girlfriend when you're young and you guys break up. It's a lot easier than when you're older, because the older you get, you're like, "Well, this might be the last relationship I find," kind of thing, you know? So, but when you're young, it's like, "Oh, well, I still got, 80 years ahead of me," or something like that, depending on how old you are and all that. So it's much easier to recover from little emotional traumas like that, like small emotional traumas in that regard. It might seem like the end of the world at the time, but you move on pretty easily. Um, so yeah, I guess I kind of like that outlook of like, make mistakes when you're young, so that way if you go through your young life not taking any risks, not making any mistakes, when you do make a mistake, it makes it harder. Hell, it kind of reminds me of Oshinoko. I just been watching that show, and there's a character who is a mangaka, and her like first manga she wrote became super popular, and now she has this like crippling fear of something going wrong with it, or doing something wrong with it, so she puts in way more effort into it than she should, and stuff like that, because she is so scared of failure. Whereas these other mangakas in the show are used to like 1 out of 3 of their projects failing. They're experienced, they're used to the failure, and they experienced a lot of failure as they were coming up. Whereas, you nail the right thing perfectly right away, and you're just, desperately scared. It's same with like, not to say rejection gets easier, but when you ask a girl out or you ask someone out, whoever you're going after, you know, different people like multiple times, you start getting used to being rejected. It still hurts and everything, but it doesn't hurt as bad as the first time you were rejected, you know? So I really like the conversation. I really like the advice the mom gave, and even though it's one of those anime things where it's being applied to an extreme situation and probably wasn't the best advice, luckily this mistake resolved itself pretty quickly. I don't know how Sayaka's gonna feel. It seems like she wasn't really aware of what happened, but once she's made aware of what happened, will she get really mad at Madoka? But it might be one of those things where it's like, well, Sayaka, you didn't know that this would happen either, so maybe it's actually good that Madoka did this, because now you can learn that you don't want to lose that soul gem. You want to be very careful with it. So, way more careful than before. Like, we had no idea that that is your life. You lose it, you break it, you're screwed. Because if you don't have, it seems like you don't have any kind of agency once you're 100 meters from your body. At least as far as we know. So, we're going to have to wait and see if that ends up being further developed as we go. But if you're just stuck in a gem and not able to, you know, use your mind or sentience, or, you know, you have no way to get back to your body as far as we know, luckily Akemi was here to grab it, or else that would just be the end of Sayaka. So, yeah, crazy. Anyways, guys, I'm really excited to see more. We're learning more and more about how this world and how magical girls work every episode, and we're building up to probably this Walpurgis showing up. Once again, we have another episode of, I mean, we kind of knew that by the way the last episode ended, but of Madoka not having to make the choice. But I guess we did have a second encounter in here where we keep building up the idea, and Kyubey wants Madoka real bad, I feel like. Like, I feel like half the reason Kyubey doesn't get, like, more involved in stuff like this is because he just wants Madoka to have to make that choice. It's kind of fucked up. That's how I feel. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Kyubey is much less malicious than I'm thinking he is, but he's supposed to be standing up for, like, the hope of, like, the world, whereas witches represent the grief, or, like, you know, the lack of hope, and I don't buy it. I don't know. There's something ominous I don't like about Kyubey. We'll see. Also, the fact that Kyubey takes the grief seeds back into his body, and said, like, if you keep them out too long, they can become dangerous. So, like, but yet you're taking something, like, that's dangerous like that back into you. Like, what do you do with them? Does it, like, fuel your power in some way, too? Or do you have to, like, is it because you want to go redistribute them? Is Kyubey, like, taking that seed and putting it elsewhere so it can become a witch again? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. So thank you guys so much. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed. Check out my Patreon if you want to see more. 2 episodes ahead of time on there right now. You can see that. Links in the description should be popping up on the screen. All kinds of extra content through the Patreon show tier as well, so check that out. Thank you guys, and I will see you in my future reactions. Bye-bye.